What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Kevin Jackowitz, and this is the Caged Review. And this is finally the post that catches me up with the wrestling reviews. As some of you may have seen in my earlier posts, I had quite a break there, probably 3 to 4 weeks, where I didn't really post anything but games. My health was really bad, and it's getting better now, thankfully. And I had a lot of catching up to do, and I wanted to make sure that I still did every single episode for Raw and SmackDown, do the reviews. So I did want to catch up on those, and this is finally the even playing field. So this is February 2018, and it's the 13th. So SmackDown just got over a little bit ago, and I really don't know how I feel about this one, to be very honest. I think there were definitely some wasted moments. Definitely at least one wasted build. And so it had its good points, it had its bad points. So let's go ahead and dive right into this. You start with the match that was built up from last week, which is Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin. And at the beginning of the show, before the match even gets underway, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they attack Baron Corbin in the back. They put him out of commission for the match. They come to the ring. They jump Dolph Ziggler. And so they are really trying to eliminate either one of these guys from being a possibility of entering any main event title picture that they might be involved in. So that match goes nowhere. It was a pretty extended beatdown for both Baron Corbin and Dolph Ziggler. And that leads directly into the first actual match, which was Charlotte versus Sarah Logan from the Riot Squad. Apparently they're doing this whole thing where Charlotte wants to take on every member of the Riot Squad. Well, okay, that's, kind of understandable since they've been trying to run roughshod on everybody. She beat Liv Morgan last week, and now she goes into the Sarah Logan match. And I think at some point in the match, I must have missed it, Sarah Logan must have hit Charlotte Flair a little bit harder than she should have, because Charlotte Flair really walloped Logan a few times. Logan's a big girl, but Flair did not hesitate to really throw a couple of mean elbows during this match. It did look like a kind of a hard-hitting affair, or at least they were selling it really well. So I was really happy to see that. At the end, Charlotte Flair comes away with natural selection, gets the clean win over Morgan. And one thing to note is when Charlotte came down, Becky Lynch's music hit, she comes down, Naomi's music hit, she comes down. So the playing field was even. You had the Riot Squad on one side, and then you had Becky Lynch and Naomi in Charlotte's corner. So it kind of even playing field. And that leads into a match that they're going to do next week, which is going to be the entire Riot Squad in a 3-on-3 versus all three of the ladies I just mentioned, Charlotte, Becky, and Naomi. So then you get a backstage bit with Shane O'Mac and Daniel Bryan, and Shane is asserting his power this time. He's like, I don't understand what you're doing, but I really don't like it. I don't like that these two guys who have very little likability, essentially, are, keep getting these chances. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 2 matches tonight. One is going to be Baron Corbin versus Kevin Owens. The other is going to be Dolph Ziggler versus Sami Zayn. And if either of these men win, Corbin or Ziggler, they are officially added to the Fastlane title match. So it would either be a triple threat, a fatal 4-way, or a fatal 5-way. So that sets up the match. He also says if either Owens or Zayn interfere in the others' matches, they're automatically taken out of that title match. So he's really making this a fair match for Corbin and Ziggler. I have a feeling that somewhere down the line, AJ Styles is going to get pissed again because he went from having a triple threat to now having a fatal five-way for his title. And I think that they're kind of building that way. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. And it also is still building on the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn friendship split, which is cool. So the first match right after that is Kevin Owens versus Baron Corbin. Hard-hitting affair. It's the match you would expect. Kevin Owens is always really good. And Baron Corbin was a little bit better than he's been in this match. So, pretty good match overall. One of the shots that I really liked is Kevin Owens sitting on the top rope and Baron Corbin hits it with a right hand. That, man, if that was a baseball bat, it would have been a home run. So, but Corbin finally hits Kevin Owens with End of Days. Clean win. Corbin is now in the main event for Fastlane. And then you move on to Rude has the open challenge for the U.S. title, and he says, I would much rather face my opponents than, attack them from behind, get an RKO out of nowhere. So Randy Orton responds to the U.S. Open Challenge. He walks down and they have this little brief stare off before Jinder Mahal's music hits. Mahal comes down. He's talking about the fact that, Randy Orton should be mad because he's number 10 in this top 10 list that the other wrestlers created. And Bobby Roode is number 5. And he's talking about how Randy Orton's had this hell of a career, 16 years, and he's lower than Bobby Roode, who's only been here a few months. And so it's a really, really interesting play because there's got to be some reality to that one. I mean, if I was Randy Orton, really? But having said that, the dialogue starts back and forth between Jinder and Randy, and then Jinder and Bobby Roode, and then Bobby Roode looks at Randy and he's like, I think part of the reason that not everybody voted for you is because they're tired of getting attacked out of nowhere. So Randy Orton says, you mean like this? He hits the one of the Singh brothers with an RKO. Jinder Mahal goes after Orton. Bobby Roode grabs Jinder, and he's about to face plant him with the DDT when Orton spins Bobby Roode around for a RKO, but Bobby Roode hits him instead. And then Jinder hits Roode with the Colossus, hits Randy with the Colossus, and he's the last guy standing. I don't know where they're going with that as far as, are they going to do a triple threat for the U.S. title? It seems like that might be a direction they're headed in. I don't know. It would be kind of cool to see that. Everybody knows that listens to me that I'm not a fan of Jinder Mahal in the ring. But I think Orton and Roode could carry that match. So that would be cool. And then you come to New Day comes out, and they have this whole pancake gimmick now, and they're making a lot of jokes about that in the ring with a table full of pancakes, saying that Big E's gonna go for the world record in pancake eating. To be very honest, I said this, and I think my last SmackDown review, that to me the New Day needs to get a little bit of new material. It's getting a little stale and not quite as funny as they used to be. So hopefully they can kind of reinvent some jokes and some new material and keep the ball rolling, because they are all very good. When you put the New Day together, it's magic. So I would like to see them keep going, but come up with some fresh stuff. But then Benjamin and Gable come out, and they're talking about how they are tired of the comic relief tag teams in SmackDown right now, and they want to make the tag team division serious again. So that leads into a match with the New Day versus Benjamin and Gable. And Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable are two just amazing athletes in the ring. I think they are phenomenal. Not as good on the mic as some people, but not horrible either. Shelton Benjamin can carry himself. And Gable, honestly, I haven't really gotten enough of a feel of what he can do yet. So it would be nice to see exactly what he brings to the table on the mic. But either way, they've been building these guys up. They beat Breezango, they beat the Ascension, and now they're here with the New Day, a bigger tag team. And that's very cool, except for New Day gets the win over him. And it was kind of a cheap win in a way with the interference. But regardless, they get the win over Benjamin and Gable. Now Benjamin and Gable might come back and get a win over them, which is what I'm hoping, because I think you just instantly stopped momentum there, and I think they are a team that deserves to be built. And I don't understand why they do this. They'll start building someone and then just halt it. They'll make a decision, and it seems like on the spot sometimes, and it literally undoes everything that they've done for 2, 3, 4 weeks prior. I don't get it. So, yeah, they just completely stopped the momentum of Benjamin and Gable with this match, with a win from the New Day. Then you get a Ziggler promo. Ziggler is really good, I think, in a lot of ways. He's pretty good with promos. He's not great, but he's pretty good. He's damn good in the ring. And he's selling himself as this guy who decided to come back because he's never had his WrestleMania main event. And, I know at one point he was ready to leave the WWE, and I don't know if him coming back means that they're going to really push him. But I'm honestly, in my heart of hearts, hoping that they do. Because Ziggler, once upon a time, was main event material, and he was amazing. He was pulling off matches that I don't think too many people in the industry at that time were pulling off. He hasn't been as good in the last year or two. But man, I'm really hoping that he gets the push and they give him the spotlight to at least make the attempt to do that again. Because he has shown that he can do it. So, that promo, he's saying that, he wants his WrestleMania main event moment, and that's what he's fighting for tonight. So, decent promo. Not great, but decent. And then you move on to commercial break, comes back, Usos are doing a promo, and you don't see the actual TV that they're showing. It's just you see the Usos doing this promo, and then it pulls back. The Bludgeon Brothers smash the screen with their hammers, and then they're just standing there with their hammers on their shoulder. They don't say anything. So you had the stare-off between the Bludgeon Brothers and the Usos last week when they were doing their promo, talking about there's no one that they can't beat, and kind of the same thing this week, except the Bludgeon Brothers kind of smashed the TV the Usos were doing the promo on. So it looks like they're building something with Bludgeon Brothers and the Usos. Which, I don't know. I kind of like the idea because I think it would be a good match. But all you've done so far is fed the Bludgeon Brothers a bunch of nobodies that nobody cares about. Don't know their names, don't know anything about them except for the fact that each one of them weighs 150 pounds. And that's it. So, it'll be interesting to see what happens there. And then you get Owens and Zayn. They have a promo, and Owens is always really good at promos, and Zayn's getting better, I think, working with Owens. I think Owens is helping Zayn out with his promo work. But they're talking about how, Kevin wants Zayn to ensure that he wins, otherwise he's letting the team down, meaning him and Owens and Zayn. And Zayn's like, what, you let us down by losing to Corbin? And Zayn's like, this match coming up is every man for himself. And so they're further building that split that is apparently coming. So that leaves off with Sami Zayn versus Dolph Ziggler. Really good match, some really good spots. This, anytime Dolph Ziggler main events a show, I feel like he just kills it. I don't feel like he's ever had a bad match in a main event spot. And this was no exception. They both were going after each other pretty hardcore at times, selling it as best they could. And Dolph Ziggler gets the clean win in the end, and now it's a fatal 5-way at Fastlane. So Fastlane's going to be AJ Styles versus Zayn versus Owens versus Corbin versus Ziggler. And I'm sure that'll make for a really good match, because I'm a huge fan of AJ Styles, huge fan of Dolph Ziggler in the ring, huge fan of Sami Zayn in the ring, Kevin Owens in the ring. Actually, the only one that I'm not really that big of a fan of in the ring is Baron Corbin. So I expect that to be a very, very good match. And so they're a little better this week at having matches with stakes. Honestly, for a 2-hour show, there wasn't a whole lot of content. I think there was like 3 or 4 real matches. But they're all building, and that's cool. And especially 2 of the matches are building towards the Fastlane main event now. And I think that's really, really good. That you're so familiar now with the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn thing, and now you have the tension there, so that's a pretty good storyline going on. I think even the storyline with the Riot Squad, and now Charlotte, Becky, and Naomi, they're like, well, we're the originals here, you guys are the newcomers, you're not going to come in and rub roughshod. Kind of a very used storyline in WWE, but it works, and they're using it, so I like that. So overall, I do think this particular episode for SmackDown was better than the last 2 weeks. I do think it had its weak point, especially with Benjamin and Gable getting cut short. God, I can't even talk. But yeah, I am disappointed in that. I would have liked to have seen their momentum keep building to something. So that's my thoughts on SmackDown for February 13th, 2018. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And this is Kevin Jackwitz with the Caged Review. Cage Nation out.